Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is the question, are we losing our police? Are we losing the safety of our neighborhoods and our businesses? Are we losing the fight? Are we losing the fight against evil? I'm going to read you several articles talking about police departures, resignations, terminations, all over the problem that is in our streets. But first of all, let me read you an overview. And the story on this was May 27th, 2016, in my prayer closet. I said, Lord, thank you so much for giving us these prophecies, but they're kind of a picture here and there of like a bug's eye view. And would you give me a bird's eye view so I can connect these prophecies together? And I ask you to show this to either Leslie or Pastor Massey. The next morning, sure enough, Pastor Massey called. I had a dream last night, but I don't understand it. I said, tell me the dream. Well, as he started telling me the dream, I knew exactly what it was talking about and that it was the answer to my prayer the night before. And it has 5 points to the dream, May 28th, 2016. He said, the first thing I saw was good times. We were plowing. Very nice things are happening, good things like 7 years of plenty. Well, I think that's what was happening in 2016. The second thing is Christians feeding others, meaning food is about to get scarce. And I don't have to tell you that we've seen the gasoline prices going up. And as I said last week on the broadcast there, read you many of the other food places and the commodities places, the prices have just skyrocketed. 200, 300, 500, 800% increase in prices. A lot of people are noticing the prices of the increase in lumber and things. Well, this is only the beginning. He said, we came home. Someone dropped off 2 children in my house. One girl thought that we were going to be the best people to take care of these people. They were scared that they would not have any food, and there was no food where they were. The third point was you have to have a gun to survive. He said, so I was sitting there and someone came to my home to hurt these people. They said, let me talk to you. And I said, well, before you talk to me, let me get my gun because I don't want to talk to anybody without my gun. So I got my gun and loaded it with 3 cartridges and went to talk with them. Okay, so that's saying that if you want to be safe, you're going to have a pistola. You're going to have some kind. In other words, you're going to have to count on you, protect you and your family. Does that say that the police are gone? Let me read that again and ask yourself if this is a picture of the police not being there to some degree. I was sitting there and someone came to my home to hurt these children. They said, let me talk to you. And I said, before you talk to me, let me get my gun because I don't want to talk to you without my gun. So I got my gun and loaded it with 3 cartridges and went to talk with the men. Does that sound like the police are missing? It sounds like the police are missing to me. Then the fourth picture was, there was a main road by my house. And I saw like a herd of people walking down this road. So many people, like a herd of cows or sheep. The road was packed. They were all close together like sardines. I think that's a picture of a mass migration because in that place there was no longer able to survive, maybe like a nuclear attack on America, or maybe no food, or maybe no police protection, something like that, and people had to leave en masse. And then the fifth picture is the tribulation. He said, I saw that they began to get chopped up, but only a few of them were like 1 or 2 out of 1,000 were spared. I saw a chopper device, chopping them in half, chopping off their heads. And I thought, whoa, this must be the end times or something. And only a few were spared, and they went into hiding. Now, the point is, how close are we to losing our police protection? January 15, 2021 headline, this comes to us by Crime and Justice News. Headline says, police departures soar nationwide amid rising criticism. The number of police officers retiring has soared amidst a chorus of anti-police rhetoric that's becoming increasingly loud over the past year. In Chicago, 560 officers retired in 2020 from a department that only had 13,100 officers. That's about 15% more cops retiring than during the previous year, when retirements rose nearly 30%. Okay, they lost. In 1 year, they lost 30% of their police. If it continues, how long will it be, if they don't recruit any new ones, how long would it be before there are no police? And the answer is 3 or 4 years. New York City, 2,500 cops retired last year. Nearly double the number in 2019. The city has had 34,500 uniformed officers. And in Minneapolis, about 40 officers retired last year. And 120 took leaves of absence. That's nearly 20%. Okay, so the one place a 30% drop. This place is 20% of the police department, with about 840 officers in the city that touched off anti-police protests nationwide after George Floyd's death. It's serious, said the Police Annuity Benefit Fund of Chicago, which oversees the police pensions. And a lot of these people are not retiring. They're quitting. Minneapolis police are asking surrounding communities to send officers on joint law enforcement teams amid the flood of departures. Minneapolis Police Department is curtailing some work it normally does. Bike cops, the community engagement, gone. Homeless missions, gone. The only thing they're concentrating on is 911 response. Okay, so what's that saying? Is that saying that in some places in our nation, if you're going to have any police protection, it's not going to come from the police? If you're going to protect yourself from what is outside your door, it sounds to me like it's going to be up to us, and it's not too far away. Let's go on. They say it also didn't help because police morale, the more than 1,000 officers have tested positive for COVID-19. Some officers said the criminal justice reform bill that passed this week could be the final straw that could prompt them to leave. The bill would make it easier to file complaints against police officers, and the Fraternal Order of Police said they have just made policing in the city and the state near impossible, and they have given control to the criminals. Charles Turner, June 30, 2020, in a summarized dream said, "I saw people robbing each other, breaking into each other's homes, people stealing things from cars on the street, people stealing food, taking things from each other by force, and willing to die for it. I said, 'What's going on?' Then from above me I heard a voice say, 'Bloodshed.' I was shown more people shooting each other. Everyone was carrying guns in the street." I'll read that again. Everyone was carrying guns in the street. That sounds to me like what Massey was shown. If you're going to be safe, it's going to be you keeping your family safe. In other words, no police. Everyone was carrying guns in the street. Can you imagine that? Everyone carrying guns in the street. There were no police anywhere to police this issue or to bring order. It was complete chaos. Then I awoke. Let's go to CNN.com. Headline: Police officers across the U.S. have quit their jobs in recent days. Here is where there have been resignations. Since George Floyd's death 3 weeks ago, this one was quite some back, but it makes some good points. The role of America's criminal justice system has been catapulted to the forefront of national conversation, with thousands calling for sweeping changes within the country's policing system. Protesters have called on their community leaders to hold officers accountable and defund police departments, in hopes those funds could be redirected toward other programs. And many local leaders have responded, signing orders, changing how departments operate, promising further reform, and quickly acting on incidents of police brutality that have surfaced in recent weeks. But as anger bubbles in parts of the country, some U.S. police departments are facing their own crises, and some officers have now opted to walk away. In Minneapolis, at least 7 police officers resigned from the department since protests sparked over Floyd's death. More than a half a dozen officers are also in the process of leaving. In South Florida, 10 officers resigned from the city's SWAT unit over concerns about safety, saying they feel, quote, restrained by the politicization of their tactics, saying they were minimally equipped, undertrained, by the politicization of their tactics to the extent of placing the safety of dogs over the safety of the team members. Now, what does it mean they don't have enough equipment? Well, when they have to stand there and be spit on, and they have lasers shined in their eyes or blinking bright flashlights in their eyes, and they're not allowed to do anything, that's not giving them the equipment they need to do the job, much less defend themselves. In Buffalo, New York, nearly 60 officers resigned from the force's emergency response team over the suspension of 2 officers who were caught in a video pushing an elderly protester to the ground. 57 resigned in disgust over the treatment of 2 of their members, who were simply executing orders. The 2 officers captured on video were charged with assault and pleaded not guilty. The 75-year-old protester was seen falling to the ground and bleeding from his head. I thought it was interesting when I did a search on retiring police officers that this popped up. And I thought, I think I'll read that. So what popped up was going to Amazon.com. And Amazon.com has all sorts of gifts available you can buy and purchase for retiring police officers. Listen, coffee cup, beer can insulator sleeves, beer mugs, miniature police cars, T-shirts, flags, Blue Lives Matter police commemorative coins, personalized gavel plaques offered in multiple sizes and colors, the perfect gift for retiring police officers, personalized custom name, number, badge, deputy sheriff, thin blue line, matter, American flag, canvas prints, law enforcement poster, and wall plaque. So this is what we give our officers when they retire. I didn't hear anything about a big golden parachute. I didn't hear about any kind of taking care of them. I think our officers are underpaid, underappreciated, and they need to be helped in any way they can. They are, like it says, the thin blue line between chaos and a civil society. Now let's go to November 2019. This is from Estonia. I had this dream where I saw myself outside. It was dark and it was election day. I believe the president must have won the election. Something happened where the Democrats were not happy with the election result. Now, the point is not the election. The point is that some people were unhappy. That's the point. They were so unhappy that everyone who was Republican, they started going out in the middle of the night and started killing them. They made their own weapons. Some had guns, some had knives, machetes. They were marching like a mob. There were riots, groups of people marching in the middle of the night, looking for Republicans. Now, you and I know that most of the Republicans are Christians, so we can probably replace the word Republican with Christians. They didn't care who you were. If you're a Republican voter, they came for you. They were slaughtering people on the street. It was so out of control. I saw them coming after me, and I was hiding with a couple of people. I saw them coming for me. One guy saw me hiding. I tried to persuade him to let me go. Somehow he let me go. He wanted to hurt me, but at the same time, he didn't want to do this. These people appeared brainwashed or something like that. It was like something that had taken over their minds. They were just crazy, ballistic. They started attacking everyone. They were just crazy, ballistic, and started attacking everyone. Everyone Republican, that is, were coming after her too. I had to hide and run for my life because these people were just after us. Now, next headline. Chicago police retiring at twice the normal rate. Report. 110 officers retire over the next 2 months, a trend that some officials believe is likely to continue and could leave the streets short of officers. Retirements in 2021 are projected to be higher than the past couple of years. We're seeing double the average number of retirees each month. The average is about 24 a month. I have no doubt that it's going to continue, and I can clearly see a smaller spike within the upper ranks of the lieutenants and above. But who wants to stay in this environment? If you have the ability to leave, there is no incentive to stay anymore. The mayor doesn't back us. If you have the financial ability to leave, no one is going to blame you for leaving. From the time I walked into police departments to the time I left was about 35 minutes, and there were 9 or 10 officers who approached me saying they were leaving. Every person who walked past me said, "Hey, Bill, I'm out of here." The Chicago prosecutor, Kim Foxx, is soft on criminals, fails to do her job, crime soars. We're way short of officers now, they say, and I'm afraid as people go to retire, we're going to be even shorter of officers on the street. We're working officers double time, triple time. It's only a matter of time before they're burned out. Protests, skirmishes, and riots within the past couple of weeks in Chicago have seen at least 30 officers injured, reports say. I think the mayor has lost the confidence in the control of the city. In New York, a number of NYPD officers are filing for retirement, and it has soared, according to a report last month. A total of 503 officers filed for retirement between May 25 and June 3, which was a 75% jump compared to 2019. In Seattle, a police officer was captured on video Saturday telling an apparent Black Lives Matter protester that he was resigning from the department, saying, "You guys won." Next headline, Louisville Police Department staffing, quote, in dire straits amid high crimes rates and recruitment woes. Nearly 190 cops left the Louisville Metro Police Department in 2020, and 43 have stepped away from the Kentucky City's agency so far in 2021, either choosing to retire or resign altogether, as law enforcement officials struggle to recruit new members to make up for a deficit in manpower. I would say that we're in dire straits. The department has hired 26 new members, while 43 left. The 1,069-person department falls 255 people short of its real strength of 1,324. Meanwhile, the department hired 104 new members in 2020, but lost 188 to retirement or resignations. Our manpower is critically low. The pool of people wanting to become officers is shrinking every day. We're obviously losing a lot more officers than we're gaining, and if it continues, at what point we're not going to be able to operate appropriately. LMPD's most recent recruitment class consisted of 15 new hires, as opposed to the normal 48-person capacity. 70 of the 188 people who left last year retired, while the rest chose to resign, meaning that some of them are old enough to just retire, and they do, but a lot of them just simply quit. In other words, we are losing our national police force. We can't emphasize enough how critically and dangerously low our manpower is, and, interestingly enough, those who would break the law are paying attention to it. Our homicide rates and our violent crimes rates are through the roof. There has been an 84% increase in non-fatal shootings and 75% increase from the 32 reported April 25 of 2020. On top of that, the DOJ, Department of Justice, is launching the Louisville Police Department investigation, and it's investigating a pattern or a practice probe under Biden. On Monday, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced the Justice Department would be launching a pattern or practice investigation into the police department, and it will determine where the police department engages in unconstitutional stops, searches, seizures, as well as whether the department unlawfully executes search warrants on private homes. In other words, they're looking for dirt. They're looking for something to shut the police department down. Now, another vision. February 26, 2020, this comes to us from Byron Searle. Headline, Vision of Empty Store Shelves. In this vision, the radio talk show host became very serious in his tone and stated that it was being reported that several large cities were in lockdown. I'll read that again. Have I not told you that we all need to be thinking, okay, so let's say that we cannot leave our home because of COVID or some kind of virus or maybe just blood in the streets, whatever the reason. Let's say we cannot leave our home for 1 year. Do we have food, water, a Berkey water filter? Do we have medical supplies? Do we have some kind of EMP shield if there's a suitcase and it go off near us? Are we prepared? You need to take some time and think it through. Now, I guess maybe it'd be a good time for me to mention that I think that a person needs to have some coins. And yeah, I guess the bars are okay. But we need to have some gold and silver, in my opinion. I think everybody should have a fistful of gold coins and a fistful of silver coins at a minimum. Why? You don't want to pull up to a gas station and pull out a $2,000 gold coin to pay for a tank of gas. You want to have a silver coin or two to give them, and they'll take it. Might not be taking paper money or credit cards, but they'll take that silver coin. On the other hand, you don't want to have to pull out a handful of silver coins when you need to buy you and your family's ticket out of the nation. If you have to buy your life handful of silver coins, that's not going to be enough. That's the reason, if you're thinking about getting some kind of coins, I recommend cornerstoneassetmetals.com, cornerstoneassetmetals.com. And remember, and the Lord just reminded me of this last night, I guess it's about December 14th. The Lord spoke to my heart, same way he does on what to say on the broadcast each day, saying, if you have any extra money, you want to put it in silver, because whatever you don't put in silver is about to be gone. And there's a lot of reasons I'm not covering today. That's probably getting very close. So that's my suggestion. I'm not telling you to buy anything, but I am telling you that that's my opinion. That's what I've done. All right, so next thing is food. Think it through. Okay, so you can't leave your house for a year. You're going to start eating shoe leather? I mean, what are you going to live on? You can't leave your house. You'll be putting your life in danger to go out and look for food. Wouldn't it be a whole lot easier to have food stored there? And again, there, I recommend heavensharvest.com. And if you put in the promo code STAN, they give you something free. I can't remember off the top of my head. And, of course, it helps your prophecy club. Then, in case of some kind of a nuclear event, which we know is coming, having an EMP Shield device from EMPShield.com will keep the computer chips from frying. So that'll kind of help you stay in the 21st century. And, of course, if you if you put in the promo code PROPHECY, then that helps your prophecy club. It was being reported that there were several large cities in lockdown because of COVID-19. Was now rampant and mutating. People were being ordered to stay inside their homes or apartments. I saw what looked to be like a riot taking place. Parking lots jammed with vehicles, car doors left wide open. People all over were wildly running about. I watched people running as fast as they could in almost every direction, screaming and shouting hysterically. I was observing complete and utter chaos and hysteria. Not one person was calm. All were running about, yelling, screaming, and crying. I asked, "What's going on?" The local National Guard are planning martial law order advising everyone would have to stay in their homes. He told me that nearly all of the store shelves were empty of food, water, and other goods. He said that the people in the stores were acting like crazy, rabid animals, throwing cans of food at each other and stealing from each other's carts. I went in, and it was complete chaos and wild fighting. People at the checkout lines were yelling and screaming at the cashiers because their debit and credit cards were not working in the machines, and they had no cash. See, there again, that's where you want to have silver, okay? People began to bypass the registers and just run out of the stores without paying for the food in their carts. I saw people attacking people who were running out with the food. Waiting mobs of people grabbed and beat the people who were leaving the store with food, taking all their food and leaving the people injured and lying on the ground. Shelves emptied in minutes, like a pack of ravenous wolves or frenzied sharks fighting over food. It was unbelievable to watch this take place. Everything in the store was totally destroyed. The doors were pulled off the refrigerator freezer sections and broken and thrown to the floor. Shelving units were pushed over, knocked down, broken up. There was no food at all left anywhere on the shelves. Everything was totally gone, completely wiped out. People began running back to the stockroom in search of more food as the store was now cleared out. They began tearing all of the boxes and the pallets apart, looking for food. Many of the boxes contained paper products and cleaning supplies, but that was all thrown aside. People were only looking for food. I saw them find and take pet food because it was food. They acted like they hit the jackpot when they found dog food. I saw some people from local churches with terrified looks on their faces, crying because they were too late. There was nothing left. I said, "What, didn't you prepare for this?" After all, many watchmen have been warning for years of what was to come. I thought we would be gone before anything bad happened. I should have listened. People were fighting over what little remained. We began to hear gunshots. Bullets began flying everywhere, and many people were being hit. No one came to their aid. They were left on the floor, bleeding, injuring, and dying. Other people were taking food items from the people who had been shot and were running out of the store. The clerks had all run away for fear of their lives. People were taking anything that was not tied down that they could carry out. Walmart was a war zone, with gun battles in the store and parking lot. Many people were dying or dead. I saw people run to the TJ Maxx and the dollar store, to their small food sections. People even ran into the movie theater and were fighting over the popcorn and candy. It seemed as if in 1 hour, everything had gone from normal to complete and utter chaos and insanity. I was then reminded by the Lord how He had told me many times in the past several years ago that life as we knew it would change suddenly, and that most were not prepared. I saw National Guard vehicles arriving. They quickly swooped in and shot everyone that was seen holding a weapon. The clampdown had begun. No one will be allowed on the street. Everyone must stay inside or be shot. And I heard the Lord say, "Why have you not prepared?" I'll say that again. Why have you not prepared? We now have 9 big Berkeys, 6 Royal Berkeys, 4 Imperial Berkeys, and 2 Crown Berkeys, and most of the time, everyone is out of stock. We have them in stock, prophecyclub.com. The worst thing is to find yourself in an emergency and you do not have the food, but the second worst thing is to open the food you bought and your family won't eat it because it is garbage. That's the reason so many people get heavensharvest.com food, because it's really good food, edible food in an emergency. It may be 10, 15, 20 years down the road. All of a sudden, you do need it. You can open it and your family is going to eat it. heavensharvest.com. Put in the promo code STAN. It helps your prophecy club. heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. When a nuclear device goes off, it produces an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and it fries every computer chip unless they're protected. The good news is EMPShield.com has devices a military testing facility says are 100% accurate to protect against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. And they come with simple installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV, and electric generators. You can have electricity in a blackout. EMPShield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. This helps Prophecy Club. That's EMPShield.com. Promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. Terry Sock of Cornerstone Asset Metals is a prophecy student, reads his King James Bible, and wants to help Prophecy Club win souls even if it means he loses money. So, the next time you need gold, silver, palladium, rhodium bars, or coins, contact CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. They can help you roll over your IRA, 401k, so just tell CornerstoneAssetMetals.com Prophecy Club sent you. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation just as a simple project. Surprisingly, I began to receive information on 30 revelations and 2 visions beyond what is found in the Bible. God showed me a secret door, which is based upon a single word found in Revelation and Leviticus, linking the feasts to the prophecies. When linked, a person enters into an understanding of Bible prophecy not previously known. Even though I've been in the world of Bible prophecy for 40 years, frankly, I did not know anything of what is in this book. One prophetic word described it this way: there is a lock that I have put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you. It will turn so many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Topics are: Jesus returns on what feast? The secret of the feasts. Who are the 2 witnesses? What is the morning star? The judgment seat explained. The great white throne explained. The nations explained. What is the shout? And the parables explained. Seals, trumpets, and vials go in what order? 2 amazing prophecy charts on the back flap, 12 inches by 9 inches. Imagine a book on prophecy that brings a fresh, new, accurate perspective. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 5. 1 for $20, but don't do that. 5 for $35 or 10 for $60. That's 1 for $20, 5 for $35, or 10 for $60 at prophecyclub.com. Click like, share, and subscribe.